I stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. My girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I chatty get even warning. If you fall in love, Kelly satin. You go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm a quest and feet, I just want it. Happiness. If I broke, now my business. I'ma show you, you go right. All I care for the night.
Yes. Fitness. If I broke, now my business. But I'm sure say we on this program we know they broke over because on hearts and also we teach you how to manage your heart and how to manage your hustle so that we will not be broke. And on that note, we're welcoming you back to another episode of Heart and Hustle, the show where we mix passion, ambition, and a little bit of heart in everything we do. I am your host, Inioluwa Adekoya, and today we're going to be tackling something I know a lot of you find tricky: networking. We're going to be talking about what? Networking. And yep, the word alone, it can make people sweat. But hold up for a second. Networking is not just what most people think it is. It's not about schmoozing. It's not about pretending, or it's not about collecting business cards or to fill to collecting business cards to actually fill a folder. It actually has more to do with connecting. It is curiosity, and it's also creating value. And today on the program today, I am going to be breaking down exactly how to network like a pro without feeling fake. Because let's be real, nobody wants to walk into a room and feel like he or she is a scam now, or he or she is fake. We don't want that. So first things first, your mindset matters most than your elevator pitch. Before we dive deeper into that, we will go back to fitness because, of course, if we broke, whose business it be before?
And I've been living fast life, but I see it in slow. Oh no, and you see my lifestyle, I got G's in the dope. See many people there outside where they feed man's oboe. Oh no, and me I stand the defender like Joseph Yobo. My girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I chatty get even warning. If you fall in love, Kelly satin. You go to breakfast, I'm not capping. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm a quest and feet, I just want it.
Yes, so fitness. Because not only your fitness, you feel you stand for some places where matter. And on that note, we are welcoming you back to Heart and Hustle. Like I said before we went on that short break, this beautiful afternoon, I will be breaking down how to network like a pro without feeling fake. So, first things first. I said your mindset matters more than your elevator pitch. Now, we are in a world where too many people walk into networking thinking, who can give me something? And at that particular moment right there, you already lost your authenticity point. Flip it. Ask yourself, who can I learn from? Who can I genuinely connect with? How can I make this conversation meaningful for both of us? Now, when your intention is genuine, the energy shifts. People feel that, and then suddenly networking doesn't become as hard as it used to be. It doesn't feel forced. It just comes naturally. That is the first thing you should note. Your mindset matters. You're not going there with the aim of what should I what can I collect from whoever wants to give. You're going with the aim of what can I learn, what can I derive, who are the big wigs here or the small wigs that I can connect with. That is the mindset you should be going into a place as a networker with. Now, moving to the next step. Ask thoughtful questions. Forget those boring small talk lines like, so what do you do? Instead, spark curiosity. Try things like, what project are you currently excited about? Questions like, what's one lesson you've learned this year that really stuck with you? If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be? Ask those type of questions. And here's a tip. You have to follow up on the answers. If they say, I'm launching this new app, ask. That's amazing. What inspired you to start that? See, conversations will flow naturally. You're not trying to impress. You are just genuinely interested. And guess what? People love talking about what excites them. They enjoy it. And now moving over to step 3, I want you to listen more than you talk. Yes, yes, we all want to share our story, obviously, but true networking is not about talking, it's about listening. Really listening. It is amazing how far a thoughtful comment or a question about what someone just said can take a conversation, and when you remember little details about a person, like their favorite book, their hobby or project, you automatically become memorable to them. Now, people also notice when someone is actually paying attention to them, so listen for the little details. Don't try to voice everything out at once. You met the person, okay, let's say you met someone you've been looking up to for a while. You had a chance to meet, the opportunity to meet, and you want to tell him all about your life story. Wait, calm down, listen to the littlest details so that you can catch something from there. Now, moving on to the next step, that is step 4. Be yourself. It sounds cliche, right? But it's true. You don't have to be polished. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be confident, or you don't have to match everybody's style or someone's style. Your humor, your quirks, your personal experiences, those are what make you memorable. Now think about it. What do you remember? Now, the person, most of the times we tend to remember the person who gave. We don't remember those people who gave rehearsed speech. We tend to remember the people who made us laugh, who shared their real stories with us, and who naturally feel like human. So exactly, that is what we are talking about. Be yourself. Don't try to impersonate someone else. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be confident. Take yourself as you are there. Be yourself. Always try as much as possible to be yours. Do not make pressure or society make you someone else. Be yourself. And networking becomes easier. You realize that networking becomes easier, and it flows naturally when you are yourself, not when you are somebody else. Now, the 5th step on how to network like a pro is add value whenever you can. And no, you don't have to do too much. You don't have to go overboard. Even those, what you do not realize is that even those small gestures, they count. You can share a link fully, use a useful link. You can recommend a book. You can make a simple introduction. You can give encouragement. When you give without expecting anything in return, networking, it stops feeling transactional. And that moment is when the real connection is actually formed. Now, let's talk about something that actually trips people a lot. It trips people up a lot. Now, that is the fear of awkwardness. awkward moments, awkward conversations. And what you don't know about awkwardness is naturally they happen. Everybody experiences them. Now the trick is to lean into the awkwardness instead of trying to avoid it. Laugh it off, acknowledge it, or even say, wow, I'm always nervous at this things, I'm always shaking, don't mind me. Just laugh it off. Now, most of the times, when we laugh it off, people tend to appreciate that honesty, that vulnerability. It draws people in. So it is part of authentic communication. And here's a tip: networking is not just about events. It happens everywhere. Coffee shops, gyms, online communities, even family gatherings. Now, practice makes networking easier. Each interaction is actually they're actually chances to sharpen your skills. And remember, what you do not know is what you can't fathom, what you do not understand is quality beats quantity. Now, if you have 5 deep, meaningful connections, they are better than 50 surface level ones. So they don't have to be bulky. You don't have to know too much. You just have to know a limited amount of great people. It can be a limited amount of great people, but you just have to know them well. You have to have an in-depth idea of the littlest things about them if you want to network. And on that note, we will go listen to Killing Them Sharp by Burna Boy, because obviously we are killing it.
It's Kelpie vibes.
Zatan. I'm killing them sharp. Because I swear to God, if I fucking live every back. But you wouldn't like that. Oh God, I can know be a better jack.
Yes, so we're making money rush like Indomie, because that is one of those things we do on the program. We teach you how to hustle, and of course the aim of hustling, one of the aims of hustling is making money. So on that note, we're welcoming you back to the program Hearts and Hustle. I was talking a little bit about networking, and I was telling you that networking is not about it's not about quantity. It's not about how many people you know. It is about how well you know those people and how influential they they are to your life and to your livelihood. And I've mentioned steps to network like a pro. I said the first step is step is your mindset. The second step is to ask thoughtful questions. The third step is to listen more than you talk. And the fourth step is to be yourself. The fifth step is to add value whenever you can. And like I said earlier, it's not about how many people you know. It is about how well you know them and how much positive influence they can have on your life. Now, let me share a quick story. Now, I once met someone at a seminar who I really admired. And I walked up to the person, nervous obviously, and instead of trying to impress, because that will be what most people want to do, I just asked, I love what you do, and how did you get started? Then the person ended up sharing an hour-long story and giving me different advices, and the person even introduced me to one or two people. That is the power of genuine curiosity. That is the power of genuine curiosity. And most of the times we tend to forget that for my introverts listening, networking, it doesn't necessarily have to be exhausting. You can start small. You can engage in environments you're comfortable with. You can prep a few questions in advance, and you can remember people. And when you are doing that, you have to remember that people are human beings, just like yourself. Most of them, they get nervous too. They do the same thing you do. Sometimes they are clueless like you are. They are not Mr. and Mrs. Perfect. And I do not want us to forget one thing: follow up. It doesn't end. Networking doesn't necessarily end when the whole conversation ends. A simple message like, hey, oh, I really enjoyed our conversation on the topic you talked about. Let's stay in touch. It can solidify the connection. Now, that small act separates the networkers who succeeded from those who just collect names and numbers. Now, another myth I want to bust there is networking is not manipulation. It's not manipulative. It's not about using people to actually climb a ladder. No. True networking is mutually beneficial. You learn, you share, and you grow together. Now, that mindset removes the pressure to perform and lets you just be yourself. And here's a little exercise you can do. Here's a little exercise you can do today. Now, next time you meet someone, focus on 3 things. Are you listening? Focus on 3 things. Number 1, listen actively. The second thing you should focus on is ask questions that spark conversations. Not just, how are you doing? How's your day? No, ask questions that will lead to answers, that will spark conversations, that you have to ask. You know, those kind of questions. And the third one to do when you notice someone that you really wanted to meet, someone you're looking up to, notice something unique about them and comment on it. It might just be a compliment. You look good. You might just comment on something about them. Now, I want you to try that for a week. Then you will notice the difference. You start walking in rooms with confidence, curiosity, and authenticity. And networking will not feel fake. So try it. And honestly, that's what I love about this topic. It's not about career growth or side hustle. It's just about building relationship, learning about people, and creating a community that actually uplifts you and inspires you. Now, the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And when it becomes natural, you can network anywhere, even online, in your neighborhood, at an event, without even thinking too much about it. So for everyone listening, I want you to reflect. Who is someone that you've been wanting to connect with? What is one genuine question you could ask them? And how could you add value in that interaction? That is your assignment. That is your homework. Not because it's a trick, no. But because it is about being intentional, being authentic, and being curious. And honestly, networking like a pro is a skill like any other skill. The more you do it, the better you get. The key is to keep it real and keep it human, keep it fun. And remember, every great opportunity starts with a conversation, and every meaningful conversation starts with genuine curiosity. Now, another tip to networking like a pro is do not be afraid to show your vulnerability. Yes, I said it. Don't be afraid to show that vulnerable side of you. Don't be afraid to. If you admit, I am new to this industry, I'm still learning. People actually want to help you. It humanizes you. It makes them feel good about supporting someone who is eager to grow. And networking most of the times, every time, is not about pretending to know everything. It's about connecting with actual real humans. Now, let's talk about body language and energy. Because you could ask the best questions in the world, and if your energy looks closed off, your arms are crossed, your heads are down, no eye contact, people will not respond. Smile, nod, lean in slightly, and then speak. And when they speak too, show engagement. Your energy, most of the times, it speaks louder than your words. They know from afar what kind of energy this person is bringing. So bring good energy to the table, please. And while we're on the topic of energy, here's a fun little exercise that you can try today. Now, before you enter a room, before you enter that room you want to enter, or before you enter a virtual meeting, or before you enter anywhere, just take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out, then smile and remind yourself, I am here to connect, not to impress. That mindset alone, it shifts your energy and opens doors naturally. So here's a challenge for my Hearts and Hustle fam. Now this week, I want you to reach out to one person you admire, someone you've been meaning to connect with, someone you've been looking up to. Now, do not pitch yourself. Do not ask for a favor. Just start with a genuine compliment or curiosity-driven question. Then you can follow up afterwards with simple notes about how much you appreciated the chat. Now, if you're listening live, call in and tell me who you are reaching out to. I want to celebrate this wins with you in real time. And the number to call is 0816 552 4699. If you're reaching out to someone that you've been looking up to, and I've told you the steps to go about it. Don't go and ask, can you give me? No, don't ask them that. Just ask curious questions or compliment them. Then you start a conversation with conversation questions, conversation starter questions. Not what are you doing? How is it? No, what made you start this? What are you working on at the moment? Those are questions that pique people's interest. Those are questions they would want to answer to. So please let us try as much as possible to do that. Now, the next step is to use social media wisely. Social media is very, very important in networking. It's one of the best networking platforms. So use social media wisely. It's not, and most of the time we tend to believe networking is limited to in-person events. No, it is not anymore. There are a lot of apps that majorly focus on networking. We have LinkedIn, we have Twitter, and even Instagram. They can be powerful networking tools if you approach them correctly. You can start by commenting on a post thoughtfully, or share an helpful content, or DM people with questions and appreciations. But remember something. Do not fake it. Keep it genuine. Don't slide into people's DM just to ask for favors. So add value to yourself first, and the rest will follow. Don't say, Sam, no. Add value. Don't ask. Your intention to someone you look up to is not at first. It's not generally this, can you help me? No, add value to yourself. It will naturally flow. Now, the next step to networking like a pro is to keep track of your connections. Of course, obviously, most of the people will think, it sounds very minor, Joe. This is not really important. No, it's a game changer. Make a simple list of people you meet and what they are interested in, and any follow-up actions. the way they act, what they love, their hobbies. Make a list, and that way, when you reconnect, you remember not just as that person, no, but as someone that is thoughtful and intentional. Now, all right, let's do a quick live example. Now, imagine you are at a seminar and you see someone you want to connect with. Now, here's how it could go. Now, the first step, of course, obviously, you smile, then you say hello to that person, then you ask a genuine question. Genuine questions like, what inspired you to get into this field? What are you working on at the moment? Now, when you ask that question, you don't try to take control and say, I know, don't form, too much. Keep quiet, listen and respond thoughtfully. Maybe you can share one or two small relatable stories about yourself, but first of all, listen. Then the next thing you do is follow up. You see, that is networking. And it is networking without trying to be fake. No scripts, no forced energy, just real human connection as it should be. And I want you to remember that networking is not a one-time thing. It is an ongoing relationship. You check in with people periodically, you celebrate their wins, you share relevant tips and resources. That is how networks grow into real communities. Oh, and for my introverts and my shy listeners, I've got you on the program. Now, don't panic, because networking, it doesn't necessarily have to do with being loud or being aggressive. You start by listening. Like I said earlier, listening is a very important part of networking. If you're not a very good listener and you are someone who likes to jam talk, you're someone who likes to be heard, at least first try to listen. Because if you do not listen, there's no way you can actually be heard. So listen, start by listening, and do not see it's a one in lifetime opportunity to meet someone you look up to, someone that you love to follow steps after, someone that is your mentor. It's a one in lifetime opportunity. So do not try as much as possible to ask meaningful questions, and don't let that convo let it flow naturally. Let it not be mumbo jumbled. No, let it flow naturally. Let it be like a conversation you are having with a friend. And there's no need, like I said earlier, there's no need for you to claim dominance. So there's no need for you to dominate the room. No. You need to show up, connect authentically. Now, I remember one of the time I was terrified to speak at one of the workshops. I didn't know anyone, and I actually thought, see, it will not be awkward like this. Instead, I decided to focus on genuine curiosity. I'm curious about this stuff. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it is awkward or not, if I know somebody or not, if nobody knows me. As long as I'm curious about this topic, I want to know. So I will ask. So this is what I did. I asked someone next to me. I said, what is the most exciting project you're working on? You want to know the funniest thing? We ended up talking for 20 minutes. We exchanged contact, and a few weeks later, the person became a collaborator on a side project. All because I asked one real question and I actually listened. Now, that is the beauty of networking. It's not about trying to impress. It's about connecting. Now, the next step to networking like a pro is embrace rejection gracefully. Not every conversation will turn into a connection, and it's fine. It's okay. Don't take it personally. Every interaction is actually a learning opportunity, and most of the times, even brief conversations, they can leave an impression that actually pays off later, years later. So, embrace rejection gracefully. When a person says no, take 2 steps back. Don't try to force it. Now, moving on to the next step in networking like a pro. That is step 12. Pay it forward. And what I mean by pay it forward is when you meet someone new, think about how you can introduce them to others. Now, the ripple effect creates more opportunities than you can imagine. And most of the times, you become the kind of connector everybody wants to know. And here's a tip you can use when you can start using as a connector today. You can try as much as possible to practice micro networking. You network, you make small interactions, you compliment someone, you ask quick questions, and you sending thoughtful comments on social media too. It actually counts. You are gradually building your confidence, and you're expanding your circle without overwhelming you. Now moving on to the next step. Now, balance confidence with humility. Nobody wants to speak to a bragger. No, sometimes when I speak to a bragger, it actually it annoys me. I'm wondering what is up with this person. But the thing is, nobody actually really notices someone who is invincible either. So be confident in your abilities, but stay humble. Ask questions, listen, and let people share their story too, because confidence plus curiosity equals networking magic. And here's a big one: be patient. That's another. Be what? Patient. Networking, it doesn't always come in an instant. It doesn't always come in the twinkle of an eye. You have to work. They grow. Your connections, they will grow over time. So some of the most powerful relationships that big people have built over the past few years, they built them over time, months and months and months, even years. So show up, try as much as possible to show up consistently, show up genuinely and authentically, and opportunities will come. They will come. Now, moving on to the next step. Don't overthink things. Now, so many people they freeze because they are worried about saying the wrong thing. They freeze because can I do this? If I say it, wait, the person, calm down. Why are you overthinking? Why are you overthinking? Calm down. And most of the times, when you overthink, you tend to make mistakes, and you tend to cause catastrophe. So most people just want to have a genuine conversation with you. Don't overthink the questions. Don't overthink the answers. So just smile and ask real questions. Listen, and the rest will flow naturally. And now to the next step. Now I want you to learn to enjoy the process. Now, networking is not just a business strategy. It is a way to meet amazing people. You hear incredible stories, you grow personally and professionally, and you become a better version of yourself eventually. So I want you, listener out there, to approach networking with curiosity, openness, and fun. And all of a sudden you discover that networking is not a chore. It's just an adventure. It's just fun. So don't try as much as possible to try to complicate things. Don't try to make it in a don't create a script. Just let it flow naturally. Enjoy yourself. And on that note, we'll go listen to Hustler Fit by Lil Bleeze featuring Finawa and Vector.
Let's go. Get your lanes for new avenues. Get your change, you can mad at you. Cause if you don't, the people who do will brag at you. But like boys see guns are not new to me. Like me, I just see fun is not new to me. Rappers fight till guns are not new to me. Criticism of my lyricism is just views to me. Forget English, now money we define. If you go where we from, now the thing you go find. Then we kill yourself, the way people they grind. Check it out sometimes, nobody you go find. But thank God say the story don't change. Old school guys go say the boy became strange. But nobody wants to be street forever.
Yes, so nobody wants to be street forever. We want to network, we want to work, and we want to hustle. Like we always try as much as possible to teach you how to do on the program Arts and Hustle. So Arts and Hustle fams, as we wrap up today's session on practical exercises for daily networking and how to network like a pro without looking like a fake. Now let's take a moment to really reflect on what we talked about. We said networking is not instant result, or is not flashy moves. It's not about sending one message or expecting a miracle. It's not about collecting contacts like trophies. Real networking is powerful, is lasting, and is life-changing networking. And it is built on everyday and small, consistent, and authentic ways. Now, it is the little gestures that matter, the thoughtful messages you send to check in, the genuine compliments you give, the article you share because it reminded you of someone, that simple curiosity you show when you ask a question that comes from the heart. Those things may feel small and they may feel almost invisible, but over weeks and months they add up and they become something massive. They build relationships, they open doors that actually never existed. And we also talked about patience, that most people give up too soon. They plant seeds and expect the trees to grow the next day. They send DMs and they don't get replies and they think, all hope is lost. But that's not how life works. Relationships, collaborations, mentorships, they all take time. You water them, then slowly you nurture them with your genuine attention, and eventually they grow into something incredible. So my challenge for you is, as we close today, is simple. Start small, stay consistent, and show up authentically. Take those practical exercises we talked about today and send that thoughtful message. Ask that genuine question. Acknowledge someone's work, celebrate small wins, and do it every day. Track your progress, reflect on your growth, and notice how your network starts to take shape. Now, I want you to remember that networking is not a task, it's a journey. And the beauty of this journey is that what you are building, while you are building connections with others, you're also growing as a person. Your confidence, your insight, your ability to give or receive value, it all develops. And you may not notice, but it is growing. And when you approach it with your heart and your patience and consistency, you don't just grow a network, you grow a community, you grow a family and a circle that lifts you and everyone around you. So on this note, I will say stay intentional, stay authentic, stay consistent, and watch how small things you do today turns into opportunities, collaborations, and relationships that change your life tomorrow. And that is the magic of networking with a heart. And that is the Hearts and Hustle way. On that note, we will call it a wrap on today's edition of Hearts and Hustle. I am Inioluwa Adekoya. Many thanks to those who made today's program possible. Many thanks to those who are here with me in the studios this afternoon. Many thanks to those who tuned in to listen to Hearts and Hustle on our Power 102.7 FM. And many thanks to everyone in general, of course. And on that note, like I said earlier, we're wrapping up the program. Have a wonderful day, and do not forget, keep your heart strong, gidigba, and always try as much as possible to hustle. Bye bye.